Know when you're ready.
Awesome. Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to actually the last day of the IACAC Virtual College Exploration. Sorry we don't have a visual of this right now, but the number one thing is how do you ask questions, participants? How you ask questions is in the Q&A button, which likely is at the bottom of your screen. And you have to type your questions to the presenters in the Q&A button, and they will be able to answer your question. Participants, your camera and microphone are off. You are muted and your video is off, and the panelists cannot see or hear you. So again, the only way to ask questions is through the Q&A at the bottom. And a recording of this session will be available on the IACAC website. So let's see here. Away we go with Central Michigan. Thank you.
Great, and thank you so much, Allison, and welcome everybody. Good afternoon. We are so fired up here that you have joined us for the Central Michigan University presentation. My name is Amy Howenstein. I serve as the Associate Director of Admissions for out-of-state recruitment for Central Michigan University. I am based here in the Chicago area, and I have two wonderful people with me, a colleague as well as an alum of our university. So I'm going to have them introduce themselves and then we'll get started. Joy, would you like to start?
Sure. Hello, everybody. My name is Joy Mitchell. I am a 2017, I don't know if you guys can see it, 2017 graduate of Central Michigan University. My major was marketing. My minor was American Sign Language. Currently, I'm back home in Chicago, and I've been working for about 2 years at a nonprofit, and we'll talk about that some more later.
All right. And then I want my colleague here in the Chicago area, Ezra Johnson. Ezra, could you introduce yourself, please?
Yes. Good evening, good people. My name is Ezra Johnson. I'm Assistant Director of Admissions for, I'm gonna say the Central Michigan University because I just feel that good about it. And I am your regional representative. I'm here for you. I'm gonna be the person that you will most likely be interacting with, giving you the information that you need, trying to guide you to the right decision that you need in your life, and hopefully that's Central Michigan.
Great. Ezra, go ahead and take it away. Tell us about CMU.
Awesome. So I have the, first of all, I'm not going to be long, but my background, you know, I got my CMU up here, but I felt like I look better than my background. So just don't mind me. I felt like my suit, you know, is a little better optic. But anyway, so I'm gonna share my screen for those who are interested in seeing. I'm here to talk to you about an option. College can be the most important decision of your life, and I think at times it can seem really heavy. But I just want to talk to you about who we are, what we have to offer, and why we might be a good fit. I think that we have some really good things to offer. I think we have some really good programs, and I think that the way we're handling the COVID situation right now in reference to allowing students to be on campus, plus have the best experience possible, I think is bar none. So I'm here to talk to you about Central Michigan. And then we have some opportunities to ask questions as we go along. So I'll go ahead and get started. As you see our first slide, Central Michigan is home. It's home. So for you Illinois students that are looking to get away, that have been in Illinois your whole life or a good portion of your life, and you want to go somewhere and kind of venture off, but you don't want to go too far, we're located in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, which is about a 4.5, 5-hour drive, right? So it's not super far. It's far enough for you to feel like you're independent, but it's close enough that you can go home when you need to. You know, if something's happening at home that you need to get home, or if your best friend is having a birthday party and you want to go turn up, you can get there, you know, in a reasonable amount of time. But I feel like Mount Pleasant is in a good space in reference to Illinois. So as we've been introduced, I'm the good-looking gentleman on the far left. Beautiful woman in the middle is the Associate Director, Miss Amy Howenstein. And then we have the alum, Ms. Joy Mitchell, and she is on the far right. Our contact information is included there. So just to get right into it, Central Michigan, I mean, when you think about the opportunity for you to hear from colleges, you're going to hear from a lot of different schools in your college journey. And it's really about what's different, who is who and why you. And so for us, you know, our number one claim to fame is we do. Right. So at the end of the day, your purpose of going to college is to have knowledge of a subject or gain a skill that somebody's going to pay you some money for. Right. So ultimately, that means I go to college to get a job. Right. So when it comes down to employment, colleges are normally looking for two things. They're looking for education and or experience. And so what we feel at Central Michigan is the best combination is to allow you to start doing while you're in school, right? You don't have to wait 4 years to get a degree to start doing the things that you want to do. We put you in internship opportunities. We put you in places and experiences that allow you to get your hands dirty in your field so that once you graduate, you'll have a phenomenal combination of education and experience. We have over 250 different programs that we offer at Central Michigan University. They're divided into colleges, and it's kind of weird or maybe difficult to understand as a high school student. So the colleges are basically, if you think of a tree, right? You think of a tree and you think of the branch. So the colleges are the branches that come off and your majors are the leaves, right? So within these colleges, we have a bunch of different majors. So the colleges that we have are arts and media, business administration, education and human services, health professions, liberal arts and social sciences, and science and engineering. I get a lot of question about pre-med, about pre-dental, and we do have those programs. And the purpose of those programs is to prepare you for the next step, right? So if you're trying to be a doctor, if you're trying to be a dentist, your purpose is to get what you need to get you to the next step. And Central Michigan does more than prepare you for those type of opportunities. One of the things about Central Michigan, and I feel like a lot of schools say this, but we are a semi-large university. So we have about 21 to 25,000 students. But we really focus on the customization and the one-on-one opportunities to really support our students. And so we offer like really great wraparound services to assist the student to make sure that they get what they need and they make it from freshman to senior year, whether that takes you 4 or 5 years, right? So ultimately, we provide academic assistance. Career development is really big. So again, the purpose of going to college is to get a job. And so if there's not somebody at the university that's helping you, that has relationships with employers that they can kind of plug you in, not only for your internship, but when you become a senior and it's almost time for you to graduate, we start to look at and evaluate what you've done. And we try to place you in situations that will make you the most successful. So we have career development. We have a Center for Inclusion and Diversity. We are really big on diversity and not just in reference to the way people look. So it's not just about skin color. It's also about religious background. It's also about socioeconomic status. We want people with really diverse mindsets, right? So that when everybody comes together, we have a holistic idea and we have a holistic understanding of how people think, of what's important, of what's working in our world. And so we really have a strong inclusion and diversity center, counseling center, student success, residence life. So your dorm life is awesome. I understand as a college student, where am I going to live and what is that going to look like? Right. I have at times in my former life have done college tours and I don't care where I am. I can be at the university. I can be at Harvard. Right. And it's like, oh, education is great. But it's like, but what does the bathroom look like? Right. So how many girls do I got to share a bathroom with? So in reference to our dorm life. So typically freshmen stay in our standard dorms. And you usually share that with about 3 people and you have your own bathroom, right? So when I was in school, we had a community shower. There were like 50 guys on a dorm. I had shower shoes. I couldn't step foot because it was fungus probably on the floor. You don't have to worry about that, right? You have a comfortable space to be. You can enjoy yourself, and there's only 3 people sharing a bathroom. And then you have other options to be able to kind of relate, to be in a space with more people. your roommates are normally your best friends, right? So your roommates are typically like the people you like really hang out with, you spend time with. They end up being like your best mans in your weddings, your maid of honors. So your roommate situation is really important. But we offer about 21 different dorms, and they're broken up in quads. And each of the quads, and the other thing that's really important is food, right? Oh, that freshman 15, uh, where can I eat and how good is the food? So we do have restaurants in each of the 4 residence halls. And we also have some grab and go opportunities, right? So we have Oath, which serves phenomenal pizza. Phenomenal pizza. We have Einstein Bagels, Einstein Bros. I know that you all have heard of that. If you haven't, really good morning breakfast, brain food. You know, you have an early class, you want to grab something and go. Burrito Bowl. Burrito Bowl, I think it's close to Chipotle. You might think I'm crazy, but it's somewhere in the arena. It's a part of the conversation. But Burrito Bowl is really good. And of course, we have Starbucks. You young people need to be energetic, motivated. So we do offer a Starbucks and then your good old fashioned Subway. Eat fresh. If you saw the guy who was big and then got small off of eating only Subway, you can watch your figure, and we got Subway for you in the mix. I wanted to go back really briefly because I wanted to touch on the college experience. And so Central Michigan University offers an experience that is enriching. For me, I feel like the classroom is probably 75% of your experience, but what you do outside of the classroom is 25%. That's really important. So we do offer different social organizations, recreational activities. We're Division I sports, and each student gets into the games for free. So we want you to be there, fired up. We have just a phenomenal student section, and you got the guys with their shirts off, with their chest painted. All of that happens at Central Michigan. So we want you to join that and have fun. Fraternity and sorority life is amazing. One thing I want to touch on is we have study abroad opportunities. And I think those are really important, and we'll get into that a little later, but the opportunity to see the country from the world's lens, right? So us as Americans, we're on our piece of the planet, but to hear and understand how things work from a global perspective will put you in a space and representation of who you are to your competition for a job. You seeing things globally will make you so much more advanced and just mentally prepared for things that happen outside of our own world that we control. So now you got to think about how much it costs, right? So our cost of attendance is $26,716. And I know it sounds like a lot. I think we're somewhere in the middle. You know, there are some schools that are upwards of 50, 60,000. There are some community colleges where it's 7, 8,000, but we're in the middle. $26,716 is the total cost of attendance. Sounds like a lot, but we have a lot of wonderful opportunities that can help you be able to finance your education. You should look into doing your FAFSA. Free application for federal student aid opens October 1. If you haven't done that yet, please do your FAFSA. I know it's a headache. Gotta get your mom's tax information, all of that, but it will provide opportunities for you. So just a brief look at some of the maroon and gold merit-based scholarships that we have. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will let you know if you have a 4.0 and scored a 16 on the SAT and a 36 on the ACT, you go to school for free. But that's probably you probably understood that, right? You have the opportunity to go to schools, right? So you have actually it pays 75% of your tuition for 4 years. But then we have other scholarships that you can stack on top that may help you with lightening the burden of what your parents have to pay. And so we have a list here, and you all can look at this. Matter of fact, take a picture with your phone. I'm gonna give you 3 seconds. Boom, take a picture with your phone, study that, look at that, figure out what your GPA is, what your test scores are, and you'll know where you fall. Speaking of test scores, we're a test optional school at the moment, right? Understanding COVID, understanding that students didn't have the opportunity to take the test, we decided that it is unfair at the moment to require that students have a test score. So at the moment, we are allowing students to apply, send us their transcripts, and we utilize those things to determine whether or not you would be a good fit for us and we would be a good fit for you. So we're test optional. One of the other largest things, especially when it comes to finances, is that we don't do out-of-state tuition. So you, as a student from Illinois, you would pay the exact same amount as a student who was born and raised in Mount Pleasant. So when you think about going to school and getting away from Illinois, you have to think like, what is it going to cost me? And out-of-state tuition can be a burden. So we have decided that we want to charge people the same amount. We want students from Illinois. We want diversity demographically. I want students from Florida, from California, from Louisiana, and most importantly, Illinois. So we do not have out-of-state costs. That's very important, and we're test optional. Here's another look at some of our merit-based scholarships. We are test optional, but we do encourage that if you've taken the test and you're going to take the test, we encourage you to submit your test scores. It just gives us a better opportunity to get a gauge of who you are and what type of student you are. You can get in without it, but we do encourage that if you have it, go ahead and submit it. So we do have virtual tours. I want to see you in person. My staff wants to see you in person. My colleagues want to see you in person. We do have face-to-face tours, limited numbers. We do tours on Saturdays, right? So yeah, there are those of us who get up on Saturdays and we come and we greet you and we give you campus tours. The best way, I think, to know if a school is right for you, you got to go visit. You got to get a feel of it. You have to see the laboratories. You have to see the library. You have to see where it is you're going to spend the next 4 years of your life. But due to COVID, due to travel restrictions, if you would like, we do have the QR code. You can go ahead and take a picture of that and you can take a wonderful virtual tour. But I'm telling you, we invite you. Come see us, come feel us, and come understand how we do at Central Michigan University. All right, so that's what I have for you. I hope that I said something that sounded interesting. At the end of the day, life is about options. The more options you have, the more control you have over your life. And I just hope we can be one option for you. Applying does not sign your soul away. And the really good thing is that we're in free application October. So you have the opportunity to apply and not have to spend any money. There's no skin off your back. It's normally $40. And I know that sounds like a lot, but if you apply within the month of October, you can get that $40 waived. So apply today, apply tomorrow, but apply within those apply before the end of October, and we can go ahead and get your fee waived for you. So we're going to move to the next part of our activities for the evening. I'm super excited to speak to this wonderful young lady. One of the things that I know and understand is that to really get a good feel, talk to somebody who went there. Talk to somebody who went there, who's from where you are from. And I have a couple questions for her. And we're just going to talk to an alum, a young, talented African-American woman from the city of Chicago, Walter Payton High School. And she's going to talk to you about herself. I'm going to ask a couple questions. You're going to hear firsthand from a student. So I'll let her speak and then we'll go through the questions.
Great. So like I said earlier, my name is Joy Mitchell, graduated 2017, marketing major, sign language minor. Currently, I am the executive assistant and GEMS facilitator at the Ark of St. Sabina. You might be familiar with St. Sabina Church, the largest Black Catholic church in the city of Chicago. Well, they have a community center, and that's where I've been working for 2 years. And prior to that, I had an internship while at CMU, which led me to this position. Some of my duties include social media, mentoring, paper marketing, things like flyers and mail, that kind of stuff. And honestly, whatever they give me, because I accept all the opportunities. They give me payroll, I can do that. They give me HR, I can do that. I'm going to try it because that's what CMU prepared me to do. And it's going to help me, continually help me, whatever I do next.
So real quick, are you saying that the place that you interned while you were in college at CMU, you currently work there?
That's correct. I interned I graduated in December 2017. So the summer before I graduated, I interned here at the Ark, and that's where I have been.
And you work there. That's phenomenal. So if you don't mind, I'm just gonna pick your brain. I'm just gonna ask a couple questions. I'm probably gonna ask questions that I think people want to know. My first question is, moving from a big city like Chicago, Illinois, home of the Bulls, I just watched The Last Dance and saw amazing Michael Jordan is. I like Common and not so much Kanye, excuse me. But can you tell me what the transition was like coming from Chicago to Mount Pleasant, Michigan?
All right. Well, not gonna lie, it's a difference. You know, big city to little Mount Pleasant. And at first, when I first came to CMU, I would say I was lost in the Michigan Sea. All I saw were people saying things like Charlevoix and Ypsilanti, and like, what is that? And why are you showing me your hand? That was the first day, right? After that, I talked to my resident assistant, who is the person who lives on your floor and helps you get acclimated to things. I told him, you know, I feel kind of lost right now. I can't find my people. He said, okay, took me to the hall director, told him the same thing. The next day, they had me plan an event to meet Chicago people. So it was an adjustment, and then I was able to find my community. There were also people who I knew who were already students, a staff member, Stan Shingles, who is now the interim chief diversity officer from Chicago. So every year there's a Chicago barbecue, and he really makes you feel at home. He's like your dad and his wife, Renee Shingles, your parents while you're at Central, and they understand what it's like. But then also you learn to appreciate small town charm, like bonfires and making s'mores and taking a bike ride in the woods. The woods are right across the street. Things like that, you learn to appreciate that you really couldn't do in Chicago. So it was difficult at first, but once I explained and started to talk through what I was feeling, I was able to get comfortable with where I was and to appreciate it. And you guys are lucky. There's so much more things for Chicago students now. I didn't have the luxury of a bus that you all have during the breaks. There's a certified resident student organization just for Chicago people. The things that I might have seen as a challenge when I first started 7 years ago, it's even easier for you all now.
Wow. Chicago barbecue. You said a lot of great things. I heard barbecue. So for those students who are part of Chicago, we do kind of put together some things. COVID has restricted some things that we do, but we do try to get you all together and provide opportunities for you all to bond, network. And one of the really good things that I respect that she said is, I try to find my people, right? So that could have been Chicago, that could have been women, that could have been African Americans. And I think as we go on, you'll learn she found her people. And so we'll go on. But what I think also is important is cost, right? So when it comes down to paying for college, it's really expensive. Were you able to find scholarships, or did Central Michigan provide any type of aid to help you along your journey?
Yes, and the first thing I want to mention is, as you were giving the presentation, I thought about this and I said, I had a list of all the scholarships that I received, and one of them was an in-state tuition scholarship. Not needed anymore. Everybody pays the same rate, but I needed that as a freshman because out of state and in-state, we pay different rates. So that was one thing. Also, before, I was a MAC scholar, a multicultural advancement scholar, and an honor student. So the MAC scholars, they, like Ezra said, CMU kind of focuses on diversity. So as part of a MAC scholar, you learn about different cultures. Of course, you get that scholarship, but you also get to be housed together and kind of learn and grow together. The honor scholarship, and then while you're a student, you can get departmental scholarships. So I was a business major. Every semester, I applied for the next scholarship I could find. I had a whole list of it. I just checked it off. It's not really hard to find a scholarship if you need it as you go along. And then, of course, friends, family, church. And when I studied abroad, and we'll get to that too, I found scholarships. There's nothing that can limit your costs because you can find a scholarship to fit what you need.
Now I'm telling you, we didn't pick her on purpose. She is literally from Chicago. She just so happens to be awesome. But you said a couple good things, and I appreciate you piggybacking and speaking on the multicultural scholarship. We do have opportunities for students, again, to receive money just for being who you are, right? We encourage you and your individuality and what you bring to the table to come and sit with us so that we can all understand from other people's perspectives in mind how we can grow better and be great and make a mark on the world and do what we do best. So thank you for that. So my next question, and we talked about the study abroad, but you know, classroom is a part of it, but activities, involvement, leadership. So when you were a student, at Central Michigan, Mount Pleasant, what activities were you involved in on, and then some stuff is off campus. So what are some things you would like to share with students about how you got involved and entrenched in the culture, and how did that help you?
Yeah, so one of the great things, many great things about CMU is you live on campus your first 2 years, and there's always something to do. That also helped me get over my homesickness because around the corner there were things to do. So I came to Leadership Safari, which is something that freshmen go to. I believe there's something different for transfer students, but freshmen come to CMU about a week early. They get to know each other, get to know the campus. So that got me used to it at first. And then I joined my freshman, like I told you guys, I created that event to meet Chicago students, but I also joined my hall council, which is kind of like student council in high school. And we plan events. And just as I continued on getting used to things, I joined different clubs. I led Bible study. I was the unofficial Chicago student guide just because I started to know people. And then there's plays, concerts. I learned how to swim at CMU, which is helpful because I went to study abroad in Australia and I needed to know how to swim for that. So some two things, I studied abroad in Australia for 3.5 months, and I studied in France. And I studied in France with my sign language class. So for 2 weeks, cultural immersion, couldn't talk, all we had to do was sign. Think about going and learning about Parisian history in French sign language, but then you have to translate it to American Sign Language. So it's just, I could go on and on, but those are just some of the things. And cost, like I said, not an issue, but a lot of things I did.
Would you be interested in coming back and just being a full-time student and just doing this for the rest? I'm just enjoying your life. I want to go back to school, just listening to your experiences. There are things that you're saying that I feel like I probably should have took advantage of. But again, we talked earlier about your college experiences and we do, and creating opportunities for students to learn things and be a part of things that can help them in their career. So when we look at where you're at now, outside of just the fact that you are working where you intern, ding, that's important. But can you speak to how Central Michigan prepared you for the world of work and kind of maybe put you in a space where you felt comfortable, confident, or whatever have you, that allows you to execute your daily activities and duties at your current position?
Yes, so at CMU, there is excuse me, I don't remember the exact name, but the Career Service Center, I believe it's something along those lines. So they do mock interviews, they go over your resume, and I went to the mock interviews quite a few times. And as a business major, we had career fairs every semester almost. So I made sure I went to those career fairs, even if I wasn't looking for a job per se. I wanted to get that experience from talking to a potential employer, presenting myself. And then as I, from freshman to senior, if you are decided and you're taking some of your classes, every little bit adds up. It's not like you wait till your junior year to get involved in things. Now, some things I really remember because they were my senior year and they were just a couple of years ago. But if I just go back into my memory bank, I can remember, oh, I learned about this freshman year. So this is going to help me in this way. And so learning how to present myself, learning how to be independent, all of those things just helped me become a better person, first of all. And then when it became the time to get my internship, they just saw the kind of person I was that CMU helped me become, and that transferred over into my employment.
You said something that really touched me, that I don't think that people consider in reference to college. College is an incubator. It's a place for you to learn, grow, develop, and come out and be great. You are not supposed to be the same person that got dropped off freshman year as you are when you graduate and walk across that stage. I see college like, I don't know, you all are young. I don't know if you all saw Family Matters and remember Steve Urkel, right? But do you remember when Steve Urkel stepped in that chamber? He stepped out, he was Stefan Urkel, right? Like, I don't know if you remember that, but that's college, right? You're supposed to come in, little Steve Urkel from Chicago, high school person, but you're supposed to take this, transform you, who you are, learn what you like and don't like, become this new person, mature, ready for the world, and you're supposed to come out as Stefan or Kel. And so I'm definitely glad that you mentioned the part about becoming a better person, because essentially college is about education, but it's also a good college, a good university is about bettering the individual. And so I'm glad that you pointed that out. And that's what CMU does. We are an institution that's primarily about what you learn, but it's about how you develop and who you are and what type of great member of society you'll be. So thank you for adding that. So I think I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to go ahead and just ask it because I think all the students want to know. Everybody watching, this is their most important question. Yeah, you all offer these majors. Yeah, you do. But what is the party life like? You know, do you all turn up on campus? I know that you went to the Bible studies, but Jesus had some fun. He drank wine, you know, at the Last Supper. So can you talk to me about, you know, how you had fun? You know, and just your experience of just socially on campus.
Yeah, so I am more of a homebody, more of an introvert. But the thing about it's about the community. So I found our Chicago community, but also found the African American community. And you know, we like to get down. So when I was ready to get out of my shell, or my roommates were kind of egging me on, there were some parties on campus. There were some parties at the skating rink and like the ice skating rink, something I would have never done before. There were different opportunities like that to safely, but also, you know, let loose and have fun. And you get to meet people at these events. You get to learn more about the townies, as we call them, which are just people who live in Mount Pleasant who don't necessarily go to the university. So if you want to, make sure you get your work done first. But if you want to be that person who does go out often, it's not dry. You can really have some fun. But if you're also that person who wants to go out occasionally, and then at the same time you good with chilling and having a movie night with your friends and your roommates, you can do that too.
So you had some fun. That is good to hear. Life is about balance, right? So, you know, too much of one thing isn't good. I don't care what it is. So you were able to be well in the classroom. You were able to study abroad. You were able to be a part of these organizations. You were able to find your religion, but you still were able to balance by having some type of fun. And that's really, really important. And we don't want to be here and say Central Michigan is, you know, books, professors, teachers. No, it's fun. This is where you're going to live for 4 years. And so my last thing that I will say, and I'll turn it over to my great manager and supervisor and person who's guided me, if she has any last words. But I think what I would leave you with is you really have to think about where you want to be for the next 4 years, and in its entirety, what is it going to offer you? And you have a lot of colleges offering education, but we're offering education, we're offering development, we're offering experience, we're offering preparation for you to be who you want to be and do what you want to do. Because at Central Michigan, we do, right? We don't talk, we do. And so, you know, if there was something that was said, if you're like, I don't know, maybe a consideration, the best time to apply is now. It's free. It takes literally 5 to 10 minutes on your phone. And I got my screen. Oh, I know you like my cover. I have a Central Michigan. You can get on your phone and you can apply for free. So again, life is about options. And I just hope that there was something that was said, something you grabbed that made you feel like, you know what? I'd like to just apply and just see. I encourage you to apply to multiple different schools, right? Have options and just see how people treat you, see how they communicate with you, see how the follow-up is. And your heart is going to tell you what the right choice is for you. And I'm pretty sure that if myself, my colleagues have anything to do with it, you're going to choose Central Michigan, the Central Michigan University. So I'll turn it over, and I'm going to use this term. I know people usually use this in marriage, but my greater half, because this is the individual who has taught me everything I know. She's got me accustomed to Central University. She guides me in everything that I do. Definitely appreciative for her. So if she has any last words, and then I think we're going to open it up for questions.
All right, Ezra and Joy, thank you so much. I would call us actually the dynamic duo. How's that, Ezra? That works too. But there were a couple of questions that I do want to have you address. So Joy, this one I'm going to direct at you. There was a question of I don't know what I want to do. How do I choose my major?
So what I would suggest, if you, depends on where you are in your schooling right now. So let's say you're a senior, I would say carefully fill out your hobbies, right? And figure out what you might want to be interested in. You know, if you go to CMU and you're still undecided, I would go with your advisor and try to take a wide range of classes that first semester. So there's a set list of classes you're supposed to take in your university requirements. Take things that fulfill those requirements, but are also diverse to pique your interest. That might help you figure out, oh, I think I like history more, or I think I like that more. And then just have fun with it. I didn't get my minor until I was a junior. So just give yourself some grace and play with the field.
All right, Joy, we have a question for you from one of our participants. What was the best memory you take with you from CMU?
The best memory?
The best.
So many to choose from, right?
It's so difficult.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to pick one of the many best that I have, and it would be when I met Damon John from Shark Tank. He came as he was a presenter, and not only did he I get his autograph, I got to talk with him a little bit, and he had so much knowledge about how to start your own business and how to connect, and every time you ask a question, make sure it relates to everybody. It was such a wealth of knowledge, just one of the many memories I have.
I'll also add Damon John. You guys are probably young, but he had a clothing line called FUBU.
Yes.
For us, by us, and then just multiplied his earnings and became a shark on Shark Tank, which our current president used to be a part of. But yeah, that sounds like great access to good people. Good memory.
Yeah, and I will just add with this that CMU has its own version of Shark Tank in the business school with the new venture competition. So students have the chance to compete for, I believe it's $40,000 in startup money for if their venture is chosen. So again, we do what you learn at CMU, you can take with you outside when you graduate. All right. One more question. It's about scholarships, Ezra, about deadlines. So when is the deadline for the Multicultural Advancement Scholarship?
Really good question. So for the bulk of our scholarships, when you apply by December 1, you're automatically kind of entered into the opportunity to learn and gain those scholarships. Our multicultural scholarship, the good thing about it is we're in an ever-changing world right now, and kind of the things that we used to do, we can't hold tight to. So we want to give students the best opportunity to be able to take advantage of these scholarships. So as of right now, we're still working on extending a deadline to give the best opportunity for students to be able to get the information. And given that, you all aren't face-to-face with your counselor, so it's not as easy to be able to go to the counselor's office, get your transcript sent. You're taking your standardized tests a little later than normal. But as of right now, we are just looking at moving the date back. I mean, you may have to refresh my memory, but I know that the original date we had, we are looking at the scope of the country and figuring out how we can make it easier and more accessible for students. So I'm not exactly sure what that date was. I just know we're moving it.
Right. January 1st is the date to remember right now. And if that changes, we will post it on our website. All right. Our last question for tonight is, are my credits transferable? So I will go ahead and take that one. So if you attend a community college or another college or university and you transfer to Central Michigan, because the school is accredited, if you come from an accredited school, yes, we will accept those credits. The thing you need to do is apply, submit transcripts from the colleges or universities that you attend, and then we will go through and see how your past credits fit into credits at CMU. We also on our website have a transfer simulation, so you can put in classes you've taken and see how they transfer to Central. And we do have many, many schools in there from the state of Illinois as well. But visit again our transfer website. We've got 3 great people that work with transfer students, and they'll be happy to get you started on the right path. All right. Well, unfortunately, this time went so fast.
Yes. If I can say
So
one last thing, I'm sorry.
go
So
ahead.
for my Illinois students, if you want to contact me, I'm primarily Cook County, and Ms. Howenstein has the other areas. And our information is on the slide, slide number 2. But if you want to contact me, my direct number, the one with the cool case, to get this cool case phone number, it's 773-891-9824. You can call me, and I don't like talking on the phone a whole lot. I know you all don't. You can text me. I'm accessible at any time, day or night. It might be 7:00 p.m. and you have a question. You don't have to wait till the next day to get an answer. Just shoot me a text. Again, I'm Mr. Johnson. Ezra Johnson is my name. Cook County. I'm willing to help any of you all, but again, to contact me, 773-891-9824. My email address is in the prior slide, but just text me, call me if you have any questions. I would love to help you, and any of my colleagues would as well.
Yes, we are happy to help you on this college path. And so I just want to thank Joy for joining us. Joy, it's always wonderful to see you. Thank you for your perspective today. And so guys, we need to end with our cheer, right? Before we turn it back to Allison. Are we ready on 3? 1, 2, 3. Fire
up, Chips.
Chips.
Fire up, Chips.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Allison, back to you.
Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you, Central Michigan. Sorry, I'm having severe technical difficulties here. Once you leave this window, there will be a quick survey, 4-question survey that will appear. And unfortunately, tonight is the last evening of the sessions for IACAC, but feel free to go back onto the website because all of the sessions were recorded and you can find the recordings there. Thank you very much.